Hey everybody, welcome back to The Pressing Matters. I'm Scott. Thank you for tuning in today and thank you for your support. Today I'm going to be reviewing a little device that's sort of rocking my world over here at The Pressing Matters. It's a Bluetooth receiver called the Auris bluME Pro. I'm going to tell you how this all came about in a second. Before I get started, if you're new and haven't already, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for doing that. It's the best way to support the channel. If you watched my system update of a month ago, you'll notice that I don't have any digital in the system at all. I go through each component, you see what I have, and you know, I just don't have a full-size streamer. I don't have a CD player anymore. I did have a little Bluetooth receiver that I picked up at Best Buy a few years back. It was like a $30 unit. I don't remember the name of the maker, but it served the purpose for me, just a way to get some streaming into my system without spending a lot of money. I wanted it to review to audition things that I was thinking of buying on vinyl, mostly the jazz reissues and stuff like that. So when I plugged everything back in after the system update video, the little Bluetooth receiver had died and it wouldn't start again. So I threw it in the trash. Around the same time, I started getting ads popping up in my feeds for this Auris device. And I was like, who's Auris? I don't know who they are. Well, they specialize in making this type of device. They have two of a similar nature. One is a little bit lower priced at $119. The Pro version has more audiophile credentials, I would say, and it is $170 retail. They're currently on sale, so you can get, I think, the Pro for about $150 now. So very reasonably priced, and I was like, As you become a little bit bigger as a creator on YouTube, you start getting bombarded with offers to review stuff. And I reject 100% of it because it's just so out of line with the channel. You wouldn't believe the type of things that the emails say, oh, your viewers, this is so aligned with your content and your viewers, and it's like beard oil or an exercise bike or something like that. You know, it's just crazy stuff. We'll give you this product in exchange for a review. I've never done that except one time I reviewed some in-ear monitors that I thought were at least have audiophile credentials. And I said, you know, I'll do that one. But, you know, I haven't done one since. And Auris actually never reached out to me. I decided that I've got to reach out to companies that I'm interested in reviewing their products. And I've done it a few times recently. There's some stuff coming up. Both records and accessories, equipment and stuff that I personally am very interested in or have used and I'm interested in doing a review on. So I will make note of it if that is the case. But I contacted Auris, and I requested the bluME Pro for a review. They looked at my content, they looked at my channel, they were like, yeah, we can send you one. So they did send me one. I requested the Pro, and it's really, really nicely built. I was so impressed when I took this out of the box. It's heavy. It's actually heavy. It's solid metal case. It doesn't feel cheap in the least. Has all the connectivity on the back and of course the antenna, and it has an OLED screen on the front. I was intrigued. I was like, okay, this is Bluetooth 5.0. It has the supported codecs are Sony LDAC, Qualcomm aptX, HD, aptX LL, aptX, AAC, and SBC. I'll be using the AAC because I use completely Apple devices. So in this respect, I'm a little limited. And actually, if you have Samsung devices, you can get even more higher resolution than I get with the Apple devices. So keep that in mind. The Bluetooth range is 30 meters or 100 feet. The Bluetooth chipset is a Qualcomm chipset. The DA converter is an ESS SABRE. The digital conversion chip is Cirrus Logic. The dynamic range is 129 dB. The total harmonic distortion is -120 dB. And the outputs are stereo, analog RCA, digital optical, and digital coaxial. hooking this up was so simple. It was like I had it going in probably 3 minutes. All you've got to do is run the power from a USB to the unit, plug in the RCA cables to an auxiliary input on your preamp or on your amp. In my case, I have an integrated, and within seconds, you just look on your phone and the pairing is complete. You just go under Bluetooth. If it's not paired, just click it and automatically you get a signal over your system and that it's an audible signal that it's connected. From there, I started exploring. I downloaded, I had Spotify, of course, which is limited, but I still use it. I don't know why, but I downloaded Amazon HD and Tidal, thinking maybe I could take advantage of the higher resolution. With the Apple products, which I have an Apple phone and laptop, you only can get AAC. That is the highest you can go. And that's a limitation of Apple that they need to fix. If you use Samsung devices, you'll be able to take advantage of LDAC, which is complete high resolution streaming via Bluetooth, which is pretty amazing. But even with the limitation of Apple, I had such fun with this. It is so much better than what I had in there. And I actually found myself auditioning things. And not only that, sitting down and listening for extended periods and enjoying the sound quality. It was quite surprising. I put a list together of tracks that I heard at the Florida audio show that I went to recently. You know, those demo tracks that all the distributors are using to show off their systems. Now, they were using Qobuz and $100,000 systems, but I remember the impression that I got from the tracks, and I said, let me assemble a little playlist of things that stood out to me that I heard there. One of the tracks that was most played over there was a track from an artist called Marcin. I wasn't familiar with him at all, but everyone was using his track Kashmir to show off their systems. So I downloaded that. I streamed that on this device, and I was shocked. It made my system come alive in a way that I didn't think possible. You know, I've recently upgraded my speakers, so I am getting very impressive dynamics and bass now, as well as a beautiful mid-range and very clear, unaccentuated top end. Marcin's Kashmir just blew me away, and you've got to hear that track. It's wonderful, wonderful. And I can see why they use it to show off systems, because it probably sounds great on anything, but it really gave me the similar feel and taste to what I heard on those very expensive systems on my more modest system. I was intrigued. I started playing through the list. I think I had a Leonard Cohen track on there. You Want It Darker, which was a popular one over at the show. That sounded amazing, and the choral effects and the space were really striking. And I was like, wow, this can really show off depth and space and sound staging and dynamics and bass, and everything sounded great. I started going through tracks. I don't know if you're familiar with this book, but if you don't have this, get this. If you're interested in setting up your system beautifully, it's called Get Better Sound by Jim Smith. Hundreds and hundreds of tips from an expert setup guy who always gets the best sound at the shows. He has a CD reference list that he uses here. And I started streaming things from his list and listening to what he notes to listen for in those tracks. And each one I heard exactly what he was saying. To look out for bass response, if it's overhanging, or vocal clarity, if it's centered, and this and that. And all those tracks came through beautifully. The second step was to kind of audition some things that I have on vinyl and kind of compare the vinyl playback to this. And that's where, although it was very, very close in many instances, there were times when the best vinyl pressings exceeded the playback over the Bluetooth. And that's mainly a bit more natural tone in the vocals and in the mid-range. The mid-range magic is very obvious on a vinyl playback on my system. And that's where there was a little difference. But bass authority on this little device was pretty impressive. Of course, it all depends on how the track was mastered. So there are variations, of course, but you can just go through so much on all these streaming services and find tracks that really excel. And I was enjoying music in a different way than I was with the other Bluetooth receiver. I was actually listening to extended tracks, going through them, and it wasn't really like I just wanted to hear the music because I wanted to buy it on vinyl. It wasn't like that anymore. I was actually enjoying it as a component, as a medium. And for that, I think it's a really super impressive product for the price. I mean, I was ready to buy this for $170. And if I had bought it, I would have no qualms about it. I think it's superb at that price. At $140, even better. And I can recommend this as a device that will fulfill this need for many people. Some people just want to add a little bit of connectivity to their system. They might have an older receiver or something like that and need this kind of option. Now, I haven't compared this to other Bluetooth receivers in the same price range, but I can't tell you that I think it's fabulous. I was really impressed. My audio dealer came over the other day to do a couple things. He wanted to hear Gaucho. He dropped off a degritter for me to play with for a few days. And he heard the playback and he was like, wow, your system sounds amazing. I said, that's the Bluetooth receiver I was telling you about. He's like, wow, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, I really don't feel like I really need to go there and get a full streaming setup at this point. Naturally, at some point I will. But for now, for the price, I think it's easy recommendation. The Auris bluME Pro. Please check it out. I'll have all the description in all the details in the description box below. Until next time, I'm Scott for The Pressing Matters. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.